back again with another exciting update on the Waterbox 220 gallon build. Isn't she looking beautiful? It's been a year since we added water to this tank and it's really starting to take off. Although the tank is still in the uglies, you know, like the ugly stage of its life, I feel like it doesn't really look all that ugly and I'm quite proud of the direction it's heading. Need to update you guys on the corals because we have a ton of new additions and they're growing in and coloring up so nicely. A lot of these new additions are coming in for my 40 gallon tank. It was difficult keeping my water parameters stable in that small of a tank, so it was definitely time to move a lot of things over, like my prized possession, my holy grail torch. I absolutely adore this coral. True to its name, it really is my holy grail. Wanted to make this torch a showpiece of my tank, naturally, as it deserves, so I decided to place it in the center location here on the right structure. Put it up here because it has a ton of room to grow. It was super squished in the 40 gallon and running out of room, so here is a spot it can spread and live its best life. And it has grown so much since I added it here. I even had to frag it out because of its size and it's still huge. Wanted to place it up high here because I'm a firm believer that torches, at least this one, prefer strong high lighting. You know, I've placed this torch high, I've placed this torch low, and I'll tell you one thing, this torch does not get nearly the same rich gold coloration at lower par. So sitting up nicely here next to the Acros, it's really loving it. It's also a good position because it adds a lot of flow and movement to this area that adds a nice contrast to the SPS ledges that I've got going on here, which, as you can see, there is a lot of. My acro fever has developed into a severe case now. I think I'm addicted to the acros. I love the sticks. Have pretty much filled out all of these top ledges now, and this tank is quickly becoming SPS dominant. But I did have a few setbacks when I first added them into the tank. As this is a fairly new tank build, I had to work on reaching stability with my water parameters, you know, figuring out my consumption rates, developing a dosing schedule, yada yada. And magnesium is the worst to raise. I had a bit of a battle trying to get up the levels of that slowly. And my SPS coloration suffered for a bit as a result, which really had me worried that I added everything in prematurely, but I have stayed consistent, taking 15 minutes and testing my water parameters and dosing by hand every day. It's become my relaxing moment with my tank. And look, they're beginning to bounce back. I mean, look at those acros, even have new nubby growth too. I mean, it may not be much, but I am super proud. But y'all, I have to say that dosing this tank is going to be a challenge. I mean, it already consumes so much and the corals haven't even grown in yet. Going to have to start hoarding an obscene amount of dosing products from now on. It's a bit ridiculous. With all the SPS stick action going on these ledges, I did want to try to add more movement with the other corals throughout the tank. So I decided to add a hammer garden on this ledge here, move them in from the 40 gallon tank, and they've really taken off. You know, great flow, great light in the spot. I mean, look at the size of this Rasta hammer here. I mean, come on. But I have no idea what to do with the other part of this lower section of the left structure. I have this meh chalice here, and I did add a piece of the Duncan from the 40 gallon that has also taken off. Not sure if this position here is a permanent one, but I do like that he adds more contrast between the SPS ledges above, so he is here to stay for now. Few other miscellaneous corals that I didn't really know where to place, like this random piece of lepto here behind the hammer garden. I love the color on this guy. It might actually end up moving him somewhere where he's isolated and, you know, I can show him off a bit more because I'm really scared of encrusting corals on my main aquascape, and this positioning concerns me a tad, especially the fact that he is already starting to encrust. You can't see, but I noticed that he's already starting to encrust. So, you know, a bit worried about that. Also, this lovely Recordia here, which is fluffing up very nicely and looking very pretty. And of course, this beautiful Bernard Pora I got from Speed Reefer Corals at Texas Coral Fest. Is it a Bernard Pora or a Gani Pora? A huge topic of debate on my Facebook page about what this guy is. I say Bernard Pora based on that polyp shape and how clustered it is together, but there is still a big disagreement regarding this. Let me know what you think in the comments so we can settle this debate once and for all. Either way, I'm not taking my chances with placing this guy in my soon-to-be Gani garden because Bernard Pora are seriously vicious and it would just annihilate my other Ganis. So, you know, can't have that. Moving on to the sand bed by this this left structure, we have this lovely group of mushrooms. They were originally placed near the Recordia, but they weren't having that, so they've been chilling on the sand bed ever since and just multiplying in a bunch here. It makes me kind of want to start a mushroom garden in the future. I don't know. What do you think? Also have this rock here. Supposed to be a rock flower anemone rock, but the rock flower anemones are constantly moving out and about and not staying put and beautiful like they should. Anemones can be so annoying sometimes. Like, how can you be so pretty, yet hide so no one can see you? You know, it's tragic, truly. I mean, one even decided to look like a butt, and it doesn't seem to want to stop, you know, so there's that. I mean, why? Moved over the meat coral from the 40-gallon tube. It's a gargantuan meat now. Have a Zoa rock back here behind the left structure. Reef Mama actually picked these out for me at Aquascape Chicago. It was her first show and it was so cute. She was so excited about the corals that she ditched me, and then she got the Zoa rock. So moving on to the right side of my Aquascape, I have a chunk of my Zoa garden rock moved over that I broke off from the 40-gallon. Initially placed the Zoa rock back here to give more caves for my fish, goby in particular, and create a sense of depth to the aquascape, like it continues backwards infinitely, you know? Well, it created some nice depth and all, but you can't even see the zoas. You can't even see the zoas. I mean, hypothetically, if it was an ugly zoa garden, right, then maybe, okay, that works, but it's not. It's a nice zoa garden, a very nice zoa garden, and I feel like it's kind of a waste hidden back here. I mean, yes, my goal with this tank was a clean sand bed with no corals and this whole floating aquascape look, but I'm starting to realize that I'm far too attached to sandbed corals and Zoa garden rocks for this to be it. Thinking of moving this guy and goby with it to the center here near the overflow, you know, peeking out behind the rock there. Show him off a bit, you know, but still keep everything centered near the aquascape structures. Stuck the bubble monster back here as well. This bubble coral has been with me since I first started the hobby. It was my third coral actually that I've ever kept. And this coral has been through so much with me over the years, through the ups and the downs, the learning curves, the various tanks. He's always been demoted to the back of the tank because of his insane sweeper tentacles that even when he was small in stature would reach like 10 inches across the entire tank and sting other corals. And now here he is, back of the tank yet again. Can't give him up for nostalgic reasons, but back of the tank nevertheless. But he loves it, you know, the monster he is. He's tripled in size and he's just growing stronger and stronger each day back here. Reef Mama also brought back some anemones from Aquashella as well. She got these two bubble tip anemones. One's kind of floating around and one's stuck in this rock. I mean, I warned her against the nems that they would move around a lot and not be what she expected, and they were not what she expected. So they're kind of hiding in this rock piece now. They seem to just do their own thing in terms of where they want to stay. Have these gorgeous Schoolies up here in the front, and I love them. I got this beautiful bleeding apple at Aquashella. It has this golden tone to it, which is just absolutely lovely. Also got this Superman Schoolie at my local fish store, Aqua Studios, just last weekend actually. I've been eyeing this guy for weeks, and I finally just had to take the plunge. You know, it definitely outshines the other corals in my tank and makes everything look a lot more dull in color. And of course, couldn't forget adding my beloved Jason Fox Favia here that I grew out from a wee frag. Might move him in the future though. Truly nothing can be sat next to those Schoolies and still look nice and colorful. And on my right aquascape structure is my beautiful Gonipora garden in the making, my pride and joy right here up front and center, and this beautiful silver purplish guy next to him. Really want to add a few more here. I have my eyes on one of those glitter bomb gonies. They look so cool. This area is just great for them flow wise, and like I keep saying, I'll take all of the corals with movement that I can get. A few more miscellaneous corals here and there, some nice blastos and a dendro that I've had for just about forever. No idea what to do with them yet or where their permanent home is, but we'll see as it goes. The first corals in this tank were actually 2 frags of this Chalice, and this entire time, y'all, I mean this entire time, they've just been blue. They've just been this shade of blue. A pretty blue, but kind of a boring blue. So I kind of overlooked them, you know? But the other day, I was doing tank tank maintenance and looking down into the tank, right? And look at this rainbow. Look at that rainbow. Look at the rainbow. It was turned away from me in the tank in a way that I had no idea that any of this color had grown in. And you can only imagine my excitement upon seeing this. So I promptly moved this guy to the front line position on the Aquascape, and here he is in all of his glory. After the Aquaman Monty takeover on my 40-gallon scape, I keep saying how encrusting things do not belong on one's Aquascape, but I'll take the L for this Chalice for sure. In the future, if I ever complain about how much this guy has encrusted on my Aquascape, please just refer me to this video. And y'all, I don't know what came over me, but I impulse bought some frog spawns. Haven't had a frog spawn since I started my first reef tank, and I think I just added it in honor of the BioCube or something, but I really love these guys. Like the Hammer Garden, they add a lot of movement to contrast my SPS addiction, and they just look really interesting. I don't know how I forgot about frog spawn, but I remembered, and I will never forget these guys again. In terms of future coral additions, I need to feed my acro addiction, so a few sticks here and there would be nice, but I do really want to add some pieces of rubble to the SPS frags before they start encrusting to make them stand out at different heights and space them out a bit more so they have more room to grow. Also, really looking for more LPS. I want to add more Gonnies to the Gonnie Garden, another hammer here in the Hammer Garden, you know, something on this ledge here, something on this ledge here. Really just fill out these spaces that are remaining. I'm also on the hunt for a nice trachea or two. That would be really nice. And I dream of one day owning a Colorado sunburst anemone for my clownfish, pop it right in there for them so they don't have to have a nest in the sand anymore. But I'm really happy with where this tank is right now, and I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to my vision with this build each day. It's looking nice. It's looking nice. It's really nice, I think, you know, considering. But with all of these corals growing in, it's time to finally add a doser, along with some other pretty cool equipment. So stay tuned for that equipment update coming soon. And I'm really proud of the way this tank is coming along, guys. You know, it's filling up way too soon for my liking, though. You know, it might be my acro fever acting up again, but what do you guys think of a third structure? Am I crazy? Am I crazy? You know, life is too short to not add sexy sticks. I don't know. I'm just thinking about it. What do you think? Let me know in those comments.